Okay, so for all difference quotient questions, you have to know what the difference quotient is. And there's a restriction that h can't be 0 because you can't divide by 0. So that's the formula that we're trying to apply. So the first part of difference quotient tells me go to the function, and everywhere there is an x, replace with an x plus h. Then subtract the entire function. Before I forget, I'm just going to change this minus a negative to plus a positive, because I'm afraid I'll forget that. And then finally, you always divide it by h. So whether you're talking about question 26, 27, or 28, those are all difference quotient questions, so they're all going to start off the same. Knowing the difference quotient and applying the difference quotient. Now what's different between these three, and why you have 3 of them on your review, is if you started with a polynomial, like in number 26, your simplifying is going to be basically foiling, distributing, combining like terms. On 27, after you apply the difference quotient, you're going to have to multiply by conjugates to move forward. But on 28, what we've got is a complex fraction, so we need to get it out of being a complex fraction. So multiply everything by a 4x minus 2 so that that smaller denominator goes away. Everything has to be multiplied by 4x minus 2 to keep it balanced. Then multiply this one by 4x plus h minus 2 to make that smaller denominator go away. But then this one gets multiplied by 4x plus h minus 2, and this gets multiplied by 4x plus h minus 2. Okay, and then so since this canceled out this, the part that was left here in yellow is negative 3 times 4x. So I'll keep it colored to help you see where it's coming from. And then in pink, this part canceled out this part and left 3 times 4 times x plus h minus 2. So this would be like 12x, 12h, and then a 3 times a minus 2 would be a minus 6. It's really times all of this, so you have to distribute that 3. So since half of that stuff canceled out in pink, that's what's left behind. That's the 3 times this. And then the denominator has a lot of stuff, but that's the one that we don't really do anything with. We've got h, a 4x minus 2, and a 4x plus h minus 2. Oh, by the way, you can distribute that 4 if you want to, it just doesn't, it's not really needed. So if it's this type of function, a rational function, you will have a complex fraction, and you have to be ready to know how to simplify the complex fraction. Because if you understand this step, why I multiplied everything by those two things to make these smaller denominators go away, then a lot of stuff in your numerator is going to add to 0. 12x minus 12x, 6 minus 6. And for all difference quotient questions, the last step should be undoing times h with divided by h. So for this one, 12 over 4x minus 2 times 4 plus x plus h minus 2. By far the hardest part of that is simplifying the complex fraction. But it's good for y'all to practice simplifying complex fractions because they show up in lots of places, not just difference quotient stuff. Just happens to be that it does come up in this type of question.